We're gonna have fun. You can ask me some questions too, so it'd be cool.
This is really neat. Okay, so if I go to your page, how do we know what people are saying or who's watching?
I'm gonna give me a minute. I'm trying to set this up, so it's gonna flow here. I think it's going on live right now. Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. Guys, if this is going on live, just bear with us. This is our first time doing this. Oh, we are on live. Perfect. Cool. All right, good. Sometimes if you're using Zoom and Facebook together, it's a little bit hard to tell if it's working or not, especially if it's your first time. So I want to welcome Jess Mather to my interview with her. We're at the Kettlebell Club here in Montreal. It's pretty empty, so I got the gym to myself. As gyms, shut down everywhere, we have to adapt. We're online right now. And what a better opportunity to connect with a fit pro that we share a lot of common values together. So Jess, welcome. It's really an honor for me to get the pleasure of talking to you and ask you some questions. And if you want to be more of a conversation type, you can ask me some questions too. Tell me more about yourself. I know you're strong first. I know you're coaching. I know you live in the States. I'm up here in Montreal, and it's snowing actually outside. There was a light snow, and it's slightly sunny outside. But tell us more about yourself. Tell us what you're up to. Give us a little bit of background on what you're doing and what you've been doing.
Well, it is not snowing here in Florida.
Florida.
It's not snowing here in Florida. It is beautiful here. I just came in from outside.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Did you say muggy?
Lucky. You're lucky, I said.
Oh, lucky, because it is very muggy too. But okay. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be here on the property. So although I'm getting a little antsy to go out and eat tacos and hug people, I'm enjoying the grounds here. So I'm very fortunate to be here. We're on 5 acres of beautiful,
super cool
Florida nature.
And whereabouts exactly, if you don't mind me asking, because I know Florida is a long state. From top to bottom, it's really takes a while to get there. So where are you about?
North Central.
Okay, cool.
So I think I'm 2 hours from Georgia.
Okay, cool.
2 hours from either coast.
Cool. And if you don't mind me asking, from which state are you originally from?
Maine.
Maine. Okay, so we're neighbors. Oh my God. And have you ever been to Quebec before?
No, it's on the list.
It's on the list? Well, we're neighbors, whenever you come visit Maine, take a trip up north and we could train together or something.
Yeah, I already said to my family we're driving up this summer.
Cool. Fantastic.
So whatever happens, I don't know what's gonna happen with travel plans.
Whatever happens, right?
We're not getting in the plane. We were gonna drive up there.
Okay.
But a little bit about me, I'm a strength and rehab professional is kind of how I title it.
Yeah, cool.
Background in strong first, like you said, kettlebell instruction, rehabilitation and physical therapy, and more recently somatic training and nervous system regulation and trauma healing, which is
that's great.
Blowing my mind, but a lot of connection to the work that we do in strength and rehab and kettlebell.
That's so cool. And you have a background, you studied in rehab, right? Mm-hmm. Like you did you do a degree or something, or did you take?
I got a degree in PTA, and then I worked as a therapist for, I don't know, 6 years or something. And then it wasn't, at least here in the States, it wasn't very patient centered.
Yeah.
And I could do so much better work with bells, helping people rehab with bells, and it just wasn't accessible and rehab. And yeah, the kettlebell is a great tool. It's a great tool for therapeutic strength, as I put it.
So you decided to combine both practices, like the coaching aspect of strength and then also therapy. That's what better way to bridge the gap, because it's such a huge gap, unfortunately. And I think people need better relationship with their coach. And if we can help people, whether we're referring them to as another specialist, or our specialty is training me, I'm a strength coach. But I have a team of professionals that I can work with and then help the individual I'm working with. So fantastic. That's really, really amazing.
Thank you.
Tell us what you've been up to. And then I want to ask you a quick I'm gonna ask you like a number of questions very fast, like I'm gonna shoot at you.
Oh no. Okay. I've been trying to create a lot and stay busy. That's ironic. So I was saying like it's less of a pain in my ass that I don't have to use my cell phone for this. And the book that I was going to keep it up with was this book,
Nice.
Which I was going to reference the circle of influence, which he talks about. Is I'm staying in my circle of influence of just impacting the people that I can and just really creating value as much as I can. So I've been working on my course, which is Rebuilding Body, which is helping people with chronic conditions who feel really stunted right now, especially because their resources, in-person resources, are taken away, like physical therapists, chiropractors, massage therapists. Working on a connection workshop next weekend so people can connect and we can play, because I know so many people are feeling isolated and it's not good. It's not good, and it affects our mind, it affects our bodies, it affects our training, it affects everything when we're not connected, when we don't feel safe.
Agreed. What a great idea to connect all those people together. It's not some people, it's everyone is feeling isolated. It's not a choice. It's like you have to right now. So been through it before, my past, my experience. So in such a case, human connection becomes so important, and in creating new relationships. Since everyone is at home, best place to connect now is online. So, if we can create a community or have events or, anything to gather people and to connect and to chat is great. So, here we're doing a live, we're inviting others to watch, to participate. I just want to mention, guys, if you're watching us, if you have any comments, you feel free to post them down below or ask anyone a question, whether Jess or me. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to see if I can share this to my page real quick.
Sorry?
I think I can share it to my page while we're live.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. While you're sharing to your page, I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite book? Could be right now. Don't overthink it. Maybe it's the one you just showed us.
No, that one's not enjoyable. That one's just like, God damn it, I need to read this book and I need to follow these principles. Fuck. Anything on movement and body stuff that I've been reading lately.
Which one you like?
Body Keeps the Score has been really fascinating.
Cool. If you want, you could put down the link or with the title in the comments so people could know, and I could check it out later. That'd be really cool.
Okay, it's a good classic.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
Luca, these are hard.
They shouldn't be. It should be like high school questions, right?
Watermelon and ice cream.
I was gonna ask you fruit later, but then since you went straight to the dessert stuff.
Yeah, ice cream.
What's your favorite color?
How come I don't know these answers?
This is taking you a while. How come?
I feel like it changes. It just depends. It's like, sometimes like blue feels really good.
Today, like feels really what's your favorite color today?
Teal.
Cool. What's your favorite movie?
I don't have a favorite movie.
Top 3. Top 2?
I was with a guy for like 7 years, and his obsession was movies, and I just didn't give a shit at all. I was like, what?
Okay. What's your favorite exercise? That one that you do the most, the one you're like really down for?
I like get-ups and presses.
Fuck yeah.
I like carrying things.
Sorry for cursing, guys. Excuse me, the language. Cool. Very good. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about like what the type of training you follow currently. And, we're in a very unique situation now because of the obvious pandemic. Everyone is stuck at home. What type of training or modalities are you currently using, and what would you recommend to women that are, it could be your followers or people that look up to you, your students? What do you recommend them to do? What do you recommend your students to do?
I'm gonna recommend to dudes too, because I love dudes and I also work
Yeah.
with
Well,
them.
you got a dude.
I got a dude.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do.
he trains kettlebells, right? He's
He
SFG,
trains
right?
kettlebells. We've got a lot of bells here, so he's still training here. And actually, I shared yesterday what he had wrote for his employees, which is similar to what I was going to say here too. Was so for my routine currently, it hasn't really changed because I don't really leave my house much anyway because I've been working virtually for many years. So like this is like my little bubble, right? But I was thinking like for a lot of people, their routine is completely screwed up. Like they're not able to go to the gym. They're not able to go
Yep.
meet with their coach or their trainer. They're not able to have their gym buddies anymore.
Yep.
So the landscape is so different. And also the landscape of just the things going on is really heavy for a lot of people. And I've noticed with my clients, like there's a lot of grief and frustration and anger, sometimes even guilt of decisions they're making now. And it changes our training landscape too.
Sure.
Right. So I always encourage intuitive movement instead of like now people sometimes might be like, well, I need to go like hard and fast because I have all this time. And it's like, is that really serving you in the moment of when your body might be taking on a lot of other stressors? Because training is a stressor. So, well, this actually really stressed my body out yesterday. But I was dancing. Like dancing is a really intuitive, supportive movement for me, unless I go a little bit too hard, too fast if I'm not paying attention. So, would highly recommend like playful movement. I'm noticing my clients struggling with motivation right now. And they're like, they tell me like, I gotta be more disciplined. I gotta like push myself. And they'll make this gesture like, I gotta do this. And I'm like, you don't gotta do anything else. Like you're holding the world up. Like there's something really serious going on. It's like, how can you get into movement in a way that feels good? What are your like I'll ask my clients, what are your favorite movements to do right now? Let's focus on creating movement in a way that feels really good, supportive, and still moves you in the right direction.
Fantastic. I love it.
That makes sense?
Makes sense. And so what type of playful movements do you do? Is it the same ones that you would recommend? Or let's say someone doesn't know what that is. You know, maybe it's their first time, or it doesn't mean anything to them. What's a playful movement, right? We're stuck. I think a lot of the programs that we're doing are very maybe you could say robotic. And we go from standing to seated. There's no flow. So do you incorporate like a flow into it, more awareness?
Tons of body awareness. It's hard. You're right. Of when I tell somebody like, oh, just go play, they're like, I don't understand what that means. Like I don't know how to play anymore, right? I always think like getting your shoes off can be the first step usually, because then at least you have more. It's called proprioception, right? Where you can actually get some feedback from the ground.
Yes.
You have more awareness of where your body is in space. So already you're starting to build this curiosity about how your body's navigating in your environment. And that alone sometimes can start to create a playfulness. When I went and took my somatic training, something that we did was we just walked around outside, if people have access to that now.
Barefoot or with shoes?
What was that?
Barefoot?
Hey, if they could go barefoot outside, I mean, it's snowing up there and it was just snowing in Maine, so I don't know, but if you want to go barefoot or at least minimal footwear, just going outside in general, moving, right, can be playful, and noticing how good it feels just to be able to go outside, right, and to be able to move. I shared, do you follow, what's his first name? Dr. Perry.
Perry Nicholson?
Yeah. I love him. You know who I'm talking about. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just trying to do something else and then messed it up, so I apologize.
We're still live, I think. So
yeah, we're still live.
I start screwing with things. I'm like, I can't look at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to push a button and it's going to all explode. So yeah, Dr. Perry Nicholson.
Yep.
Okay.
I follow him.
I think he got this from Dan John, but he was talking about, he called it floor play, of like literally just getting up and down off the ground. So I shared the video of like, okay, crossing one hand over your arm, right? And get down on the ground.
The get back ups, they call them.
Oh, okay. So I just call he referenced it as floor play. I was like, I like that floor
Right.
play.
Actually, I use that in class all the time, and I used it in my last class I was teaching online with my students. So he calls it another name. He calls it get back ups. So what he says is that he gives his students very clear directions. He says, lay down on your back, get back up. Lay down on your front, get back up. Lay down on your side, get back up.
Yeah.
Go in a push-up position plank, get back up.
Forgot the plank.
Yeah, and then the next level is left hand to your right shoulder. Lay down on your back, get back up. Lay down on your side, get back up. Push-up position plank, get back up. So he has you play around with little rules in there, and it becomes really fun. And this is a cool way actually for people to do it on their own without a partner. And what's cool about, doing a training at home through Zoom while I'm teaching a class is that we have to figure out ways that people can have fun, interact together and with themselves at the same time, but there's no other human in the room. It's only them. So they have to do stuff on their own, right? So it's another fun way to do playful things in a group, which is a challenge because now we're not in person, right? So you've been doing stuff online, like you say, for a little while, and that's cool. You have a lot of stuff that you can teach us and probably give advice to fit pros about training online, which leads me to my next question. Actually, is what would you tell someone? Let's say, speaking to the coach, right? You're talking about coach, like someone that's in the fitness industry right now and is thinking about going online, or maybe they were forced to go online. What would you tell them about your experience going online? Is that something, obviously you've had to do it. What would you give them as advice?
You said this to me before we got on the live. You're like, don't overthink. So I would say don't overthink. Like Zoom is actually really, really simple. Don't overthink it and think I gotta do it this way. I gotta make it perfect.
Sure.
One thing that helps me get really, really good at coaching online, because some people I've heard before people say, oh, well, I can't do as good of a job online that I do in person. And granted, you can't put your hands on that person. And you're not always seeing everything from every exact angle, but like I work with very complex people with a lot of chronic conditions, chronic pain, like they're usually seeing other practitioners and they still get better online, and I'm able to do a really good job. And there's two things that I've really found it comes down to is being able to be really good at verbally coaching. So like I usually don't move. I'm usually sitting all day on my butt, ironically, as if this is a movement coach. And I'm typically just verbally coaching, like, do this. Okay, move your hand here, right hand there. And then two is being able to know how to position the camera too, and really make it for the client so you can see. And having some good like face-to-face too, like where it's not all just them moving, but a lot of the time, like I just like to sit with them and be like, what's been going on? Like, just to have a little bit of more of that connection versus, because they're going to be really far away from the camera. Right. They're going to feel far away from you. They're not going to really be able to see you, but also being able to have that closeness.
The conversation.
Yeah, is really valuable.
Relationship.
The relationship, especially now, because, as coaches, like, we do the movement and the fitness thing, but a lot of the time we're also friends, right? Like we also consider them a friend. We love them and we want them to feel safe and we want them to be happy. And the relationship is really important to maintain.
Totally. So I have clients right now that they're a little bit on the fence about going online, and you can't force a horse to drink the water, obviously, as you know. But what would you say to someone that was going to the gym before and was doing a lot of one-on-one? Now that the only option they may have is to go online, what would you tell someone that they're maybe on the fence about trying something online? What would you tell them?
To try it.
To try it.
Sometimes I had a client, he I don't know, it was very strange how he even found me. I swear it was one of those client relationships that was like meant to be. And he thought that I was local, like he thought I was living in Denver. And I was like, oh no man, like I moved like 2-3 years ago. And he was really like, no, I wanted it in person, you know, I just don't know. And I was like, well, you just try, like jump on a call with me. We'll go over some things. I'll show you in like 20 minutes what it looks like and what it feels like, and then you can make the decision.
Absolutely.
And that's what we did. And he's been with me over 2 years, and it's been a great relationship. And you know, he didn't have to go get surgery, right? So like he also really won there too. So it can be out of your comfort zone. But once you get into the rhythm of it, it's really simple. Like I've had clients for many years virtually.
Yeah, that's cool. And what's nice now is that you open up so many new doors and opportunities that you can work with anyone around the world. You know, they could be anywhere and you could work with them, right? So it's bringing everyone closer together in a nice way. But, you know, because we have the technology, don't let yourself get isolated and, you know, reach out. Now you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to connect with people and to outreach so many more people. So you're right. I think, you know, once they try it, they may end up really loving it and then sticking around for a while.
Yeah, you can get really good results. I mean, I was shocked because I didn't have anybody really to follow. I just knew what I wanted to do. And I was like, well, I'm going to do the thing because that's what I want to do, right? Like I want to coach virtually. And
100%.
I figured it out, and I was really impressed with the results that I could get. Again, I'm working with very complex issues, and it's been great. Very like vulnerable, fragile situations, and still has worked great. So I say that in the case of like people who don't have such a small margin of error in their movement, and people who are just training for strength or for fat loss, like it can work really, really well. You still get eyeballs on you. You can still get immediate feedback. And some of my clients don't wear pants, and like that's also a thing too. It's like, huh, you don't have to wear shoes, you don't have to drive. I don't care if you show up and you don't have pants on, like that's okay too. Like there's a level of there's a different level of comfort, and you don't have to worry about other people looking at you, or you know, some of my clients, they're insecure in their bodies, so they don't want to go to a gym, and I don't want to go to a gym.
Like, that's so true. You can train in your pajamas, right?
Yeah, like some of my clients, if they have early sessions, they like basically roll out of bed and they're in their pajamas. I'm like, okay, we'll do a nice warm up first, I guess. Like, I guess that's what's going on here.
Nice, that's cool. And what are you training for right now, or are you training for anything in particular? How's your training looking like nowadays?
What am I training for right now? Well, if I was good, I would be training for the snatch test so I could finish my recertification by
Cool.
August. There's an event, Strong First event in Denver.
Cool.
I don't know if you know of that one. Maybe you should.
I know of it for sure. I wish I could go, but unfortunately I can't. But I don't know. I think it might be reported. They might push the date further, possibly.
Well, anyway.
There's no telling, right? We don't know.
I want to go to Denver this year, so I was like, yeah. Oh, let's go into. I think you shared it. Like, I don't know. I saw it because I don't know, but it was like perfect thing. So anyway, so if I was good, I should train for my recert with my snatch test. But I don't want to snatch, man. Like, I just don't feel like snatching. Like, why do I have to snatch? Why do I have to prove my strength? I'm good. I'm strong. No, I'm not strong at the snatch right now. But no.
You know, I think there are times when I guess you follow Dan John too, right? So he talks about like different types of workouts. Like there's the park bench workout and there's the bus bench workout. So park bench workout is basically the one when you're just chilling. You know, you're just relaxing. You're like you're just sitting down at the park bench. That's why he calls it park bench. So it's not something maybe just for maintenance. Then there's another one called a bus bench workout, which means that you're waiting for the bus to come and to arrive at a certain time. That means you're expecting a certain result at the end of the training cycle. So it's like programs when you do it like a certain length of time and you peak, you could say, or you end up with a better result at the end. You get stronger, you build muscle, lose fat, whatever that is. And there's different phases of life, you know, and there's periods in time when we just don't really feel like doing those types of programs, and we just want to maintain, have fun, like you're talking about, enjoy your body and move, and just like maintenance, right? So there comes a time when you can really push the pedal to the metal and do, your clients were saying, I have to go hard, I have to go fast. When, if you really feel like it, then do that.
Right.
So, they'll learn sometimes on their own and to see if it really suits them or not. And sometimes you have to let them make mistakes. Like I've made plenty of mistakes and I know better sometimes. But sometimes you have to let people say, okay, is that what you feel like doing? Let's do that. And then maybe you're stressed out, you still want to push it. Okay, fine. And then we'll see how you feel tomorrow. I think it was Mark Rifkin that says it's not how much you can train for, but it's how much you can recover from. Right?
Yeah, so I don't know who I learned this from too, or maybe I said it, but you're only as strong as your recovery is what I tell my clients.
Something of that nature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Luca, maybe you can combine park and bus workout.
Totally.
Because that's what I feel like I'm doing now. It's like 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours of dancing. I finally actually recorded it. Like so far I'm at like a little over 2 hours of dancing. And then I'm weightlifting. I'm more like hypertrophy, building a little bit more muscle, building a little bit more control instead of like raw strength.
Sure.
Because I don't know, my training's been more like, would you call it park bench?
Park bench, yeah, chill.
Like park bench and like playful and really fun. And now I'm like, oh shit, I lost some of my like mass on my shoulders and I was training for the SFG. I was just like, and I don't need to be super meaty or whatever. It's whatever for me. But I'm like, what? Like I spent a long time working on that mass and then it just poof, there my muscle goes.
I think you know what, muscle has memory, and the minute you go back to focusing on it, it's gonna come back. I think there's, when you do other things, the body just figure things out for itself. It kind of yeah, exactly. Sorry, had my tongue there, but it'll just focus on whatever you're trying to accomplish. The body's very smart.
Right.
So yeah. I'm kind of the same way, and I don't want to overstress during these times. So I'm not gonna do anything too intense, and I might not hit up the barbell. I might just do things that are more accessible at the moment, like body weight and kettlebell, which is what most of my clients are doing anyway. That's what's accessible for them. So during these times, you want to keep it simple. You don't want to overstress. You don't want to overthink, especially with programming. Like Pavel says, you don't want to waste any brain cells on thinking about programming.
You can very easily too.
You can very easily, right? Take the seminar, Plan Strong, and you'll be.
I was ish there. My partner took it, and he had like the textbook, and him and his best friend did it. And they like were studying and did it, and I was just like,
that's cool.
It was like really intensive stuff. So yes, I agree on like simple programming. The consistency matters more. It can be the stupidest, simplest thing, and if you just do it, like you will move forward.
Sure. What would be like a little? Let's say you would give someone. Would you say you would give someone more like a plan to follow, or just workouts, and then not necessarily random workouts, but just let's say a handful of exercises just to practice and let's say train in a circuit? Would you be more of that type, that you would prefer just doing workouts like that, or you would give someone a plan? I'll follow this plan. Would it be different for each person?
Yeah, it depends on the person. So like this is the way that I train, and like one client up in New York that I have, she loves this style of training because she's an entrepreneur and her schedule changes all the time and she's really, really busy. So I just give her like say 50 sets of an assortment of upper and lower stuff. And then she just like checks them off her list, right? She's like, okay, well, I feel strong to do like 5 sets of 10 push-ups today, right? So then she checks those off. And that's how I've trained for years. Like I don't follow a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm just like, okay, I know I have to get this amount of volume done on this program. So I'm just gonna, okay, I slept really well, or I feel like I really want to press today. Okay, I'm gonna do all my pressing, right?
I like that.
Or I have the people that really need the structure. So actually my other client in New York, she needs the exact opposite. She needs to have structure of like, this is what I do on this day, this is what I do on that day, where she doesn't have any guesswork. Or the other option is, particularly if I have somebody with a lot of chronic pain and they're just learning patterns, like one of my clients out in California, I gave her recently just like, I think 4 different movements. And I said, just practice these for 5 to 10 minutes a day, right? Just so you start to learn the pattern. So they could get through a lot of reps in like 5 to 10 minutes for one movement.
So like push, pull, hinge, squat type thing.
Yeah. So it really depends. And I always ask them, like, what do you feel like would work best for you? What do you feel like is easiest and most simple, and you have to think the least amount, right? So it really depends. I love just having the sets, and then I can kind of like plug and play, because I don't like following a program to the T. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do that, or my body doesn't feel like doing that. Maybe tomorrow it will, you know? So I always like to leave in some flexibility, because I'm always trying to train them how to have more self-sufficiency and know what their body needs for their training.
So right? That is actually a strategy. You could say it's some sort of, it's not randomness either. Pavel calls it tactical periodization.
Oh.
So basically he used it with soldiers in the military because their job was very unpredictable. So through warfare, through operations, whatever they had to do, they really had to leave some gas in the tank at all times. So they trained in a manner that, you know, whatever they had to do for the day, they could either push themselves a little bit more based on what they knew was coming ahead.
Right.
If you know a little bit what's coming ahead, you know, maybe tomorrow there's going to be a surprise. You know, I have to go on call of duty, whatever, but I still have gas in the tank. So they're never going to push themselves to their limit necessarily, because they know they have to come back daily, do the same thing, do their job. And I like that approach. It's very much in line with the way old-time strongmen used to train. With the practice, right?
Didn't know that. I just noticed I kept screwing up my programming. I would just get like, I was just like, I don't want to do this. I only want to do half of my program today, right? So I was like, well, how can I just like...
Depends how, that could be tactical, maybe, I don't know.
Or it can just be lazy, or it can just be like, fuck this, I don't want to do this.
It's going to be a tactical laziness.
Exactly. So you have to know yourself of like, if you struggle with motivation or something like that. But that's interesting. I didn't know Pavel named it.
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
Okay, that makes
sense.
So
there's one interesting ways about programming, like, you know, it's the park bench and the bus bench type of workouts. So I'm sure you've heard of easy strength before. And I've loved doing those types of programs because you don't really push yourself that hard, and you get really strong. So people don't realize that you can actually train. It doesn't have to be pedal to the metal and still make pretty good progress.
Yeah.
So you have to know, have to have, I guess, either the knowledge or a coach behind you to tell you what to do or teach you what to do, teach you the principles.
Or to pace you. I still remember my partner, who was my coach and mentor and boss for a while. He drew this 70, like he drew a big circle, and then he drew a circle inside it. And he said, this is the 70% circle.
Correct.
100% circle. And he said, every time you work in that 70% range.
Expands the 100.
Yeah, the 100 expands. So I tell my clients, okay, we're going to work at an effort of like 7 out of 10 intensity. And when you work at the 7 out of 10, like that 100%, that 10-10 one expands without you having to push yourself. Because I'm working with clients typically 50 and above. And again, with chronic pain, chronic conditions, like they can't push themselves too hard. They're gonna either hurt themselves or flare, or something's going to happen. So it's like, you guys, like, you can still train with chronic conditions and pain and arthritis. Like, you just have to be able to train a little bit lighter, be a little bit more consistent.
People have to know I think their limit, and then go before that, not go to the limit, or let's say on the edge, you could call it.
Yep, edge.
Not train into pain, and there's a sweet spot. You know, it takes a lot of body awareness.
Yeah. And that's what I try to teach my students all the time. It's like, you have to know your limits, because they're not always going to have a coach watching them. And I always tell them, like, you know your body more than any other professional. You just have to learn the language of your body, you know, and we can guide them, and we have our education and our resources, and we can see certain things, but they really should be the ones knowing, oh, this is my limit. Okay, this feels okay, you know?
100%. Fantastic. I really enjoyed our discussion, Jess. Fantastic. Thank you for coming on.
It was ironic that you asked me because I remember I messaged you a few days earlier and I was like, my partner was listening to a video and I recognized your voice. And he was watching your mobility complex that he was sharing with his employees.
Very nice.
Like in the big article. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, of course that's Luca. Like you got all the good stuff.
That's an honor. You know, it's really nice to hear those things. And I put a lot of work in those videos, and I guess it's paying off. It's reaching the right people.
It's reaching almost 100 people. Like
yeah, tell Chris I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. So do you have any other plans for today or the rest of the week?
I'm going outside and then I'll decide if I want to lift today. And then I'm working on a big project to help get more of this work out there about rebuilding our bodies, about regardless of our condition or our circumstance, like we can still move, we can still get strong, we can still be pain-free. Big projects, pacing, just like how we had to pace in our training. It's the same like in our daily life, like don't work at full capacity or you're going to hurt yourself. It's like we'll work within our 70% range of output.
Yeah.
Much more sustainable.
Because sometimes it's easy to get overwhelmed because the things we want to accomplish, but we have to break it down in little bits and manageable parts.
Yeah.
So we get stuff done without feeling, too much pressure of what we need to accomplish.
People are feeling that. My clients are like, I can't even do the laundry right now. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, just to at least put the clothes in the basket or whatever. Right. You know what I mean?
I think what it is, Jess, the thing with, and I felt that before, sometimes I feel it because I'm a business owner, and it's a feeling of overwhelm. It's because a lot of things pile up that you don't want to do, you don't want to deal with. And it's normal. With all the things that are happening, it's people have more responsibilities, more pressure, more stress, more fear. So it's, everything's going to be okay. Like you say, guys, just go outside, take a breath of fresh air. You can let go, or if you want, you could decide to take charge and grab it by the horns. Your choice. Either or is cool, and it depends what you need at the moment. And it depends on your personality and what you feel like doing. So.
Yep. And it can change day by day. I started for sure. And I'm like, I'm going to do all the things. And then the next day, I'm like, I just want to be in bed all day. And then sometimes I honor that. I'm not in bed all day, but I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to do like easy things. I'm just going to do the bare minimum. I'll say like, I just need a bare minimum day where I make sure I take care of my people is number one, right? Like
totally.
I need my people are okay. I need to make sure I'm fed and my dog is fed. And that's pretty much my bare minimums, and then otherwise everything else after that is just cake.
It's a plus. Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Awesome. Look, I really appreciate your time. This has been more than a pleasure and talking to you. Thank you for your time, Jess. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
How do we stop it?
I just have to stop it on Facebook. Let me just see. So guys, I'm just going to check out. There's a couple comments actually.
You know what? That's a bummer that you can't see comments on Zoom.
Yeah, you can't see comments on Zoom.
Can I ask? Yes, this individual can ask.
Jess, if you weren't coaching, what would be your second occupation?
Ooh. If I wasn't coaching, what would be? I literally can't imagine myself not coaching in some capacity because I've asked myself the same. I have to be working with people. I have to be in connection with people. So I don't know, something else in people, in healing, in teaching, in therapy, and coaching.
Yeah, totally. You like working with others?
I have to be. Yeah, it's in me.
Cool. Yeah. So that's it. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna say good day to you guys on Facebook, and we'll catch each other soon. Jess, what would be a good link to catch up with you, or your, let's say your website, or where we can get more information on what it is you do?
I'm going to share a link. You could just do rehabited.com. I think it'll link directly to it, but it's an assessment guide where you can know how hard to push in your training on a day-to-day basis. So
That's excellent.
very in sync with what we're doing. I used it to recover from adrenal fatigue when I was hit hard in 2015. So yeah, it works. There's actually 2 assessment guides in there, and I use it with all my clients. That would be
Great.
really
And
helpful.
so I'll probably share it with my my students as well. That's fantastic.
Sure.
Yeah. Really appreciate you, Jess. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care. See you later.